What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Game and Yes coming at you once again with another deck tech. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded. I'm going to try to get on a more consistent schedule. But this time, I feel like we should talk about a leader that's getting some set 10 support that I think will be pretty important in the next, meta. And that is Son Gohan, otherwise known as Burnham. For those of you who don't know what the leader does, he has an active main Burst 2. Which basically means take 2 cards from your deck, put it into your grave, take a life, and then burn your opponent for 1 life, as long as they have 5 or more life. So you can effectively get your opponent down to 4 without ever taking a swing. And that's, for a game that's based around the combo step and that kind of stuff, that's pretty insane. His awakening is when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards and flip this card over. On his flip side, he has auto sparking 5, swing at a Liquiir, when this card attacks, draw 1. And then he has a secondary ability. Once per turn, when one of your battle cards activates Alliance, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards 30k or less and KO it. Fantastic ability, and the deck will be utilizing Alliance pretty often, or at least with any chance it gets. So, especially with some of the cards in the deck, it's a pretty nasty combo. And then he has an active main once per turn, Sparking 5. Choose 3 cards in your hand, put them in your grave. Choose all your green and red battle cards, including your leader. They get 10k power for the turn. Again, with Alliance, that's a pretty nuts skill, because effectively you can put 20k on any Alliance tapper before the, extra bonus combo power gets put in. And yeah, so that's the leader. So the build I have here for you today is actually tricolor, which I'm not a fan of in Dragon Ball Super. I'm really not, just because I could never find a way to make it work, because risking tapping out or just not running tap lands just feels wrong. But thankfully, there are a few cards that had coming out in Draft Box 5, which I think are actually now going to make it a little bit more viable, especially with this deck. And I'll explain why I threw in the blue whenever I get to the card. But first, we should, I guess, start with our Senzu Bean here. Obviously, Senzu Bean, you should know what it does. Active battle, choose up to one of your cards, gets 5k for the duration of the turn, untap 2 energy. Fantastic card for defense, fantastic card for offense. It allows you to extend plays farther, just all around good card. Second, we have Videl. She's your free blocker. Basically, if you have a Son Gohan Adolescence either on your battlefield or LeaderCard, play her for free. She's a 5k blocker. Not bad. We're definitely utilizing the free blockers because, again, Alliance, a lot of the times you need a card to tap down to trigger it. And just being able to throw it on a Videl, tap her down for Alliance. Yeah, she may not give too much of a boost, but, I mean, the effects off the Alliance will still go off, and that's really important. We will go over to our super combo, which is kind of the main reason why I decided to splash blue, because one of the biggest issues with red-green, especially with this leader, is he doesn't untap on Awakening step. So you lose a lot of defensive abilities whenever you're trying to, go for your turn 3 play. You're really susceptible to taking a lot of damage the following turn because you have no, essentially, energy to use any defensive stuff. So I've managed to throw in Beerus as the super combo, untap 1 red or blue multicolor energy, switch to active mode on your opponent's turn, and that again pairs into the next card, which is the Mecha Frieza check land. It's an energy. It has energy exhaust, but as long as you have a red blue or card in your energy, it comes in untapped. So your turn 1 play, you're going to want to try to get this guy out. Essentially, you want to get this guy out as soon as possible. If you do have to play him later, again with Beerus, it's not a big deal because you can play him on your opponent's turn, combo Beerus, untap it, and now you have your energy open again. And then, Senzu Bean after that. So ideally, what you want to have in your hand is Beerus and Senzu Bean at all times to be able to untap at least 2 energy to go into your main negate of the deck. After that, the card that I think really makes tricolor decks possible is the God cards, the War Plans, or as Salty Joe likes to call them, the Fast Boys. Effectively, they have energy loss as well, but as long as when you play them, if you warp 1 red and 1 green card from your drop area, negate the energy exhaust. So you can play this on the curve, and so like turn 2, turn 3, play this down, and this is going to be your green source to get out a lot of your green guys. You will need this to get out, like your Liquiir or a few of the other cards, but you don't need to play this card necessarily if you didn't have the requirements in the grave by turn 3. But by turn 3, you can manage to get a green energy into the grave. It shouldn't be too hard. And yeah, there's not much more to say about him other than, I guess, if you wanted to play him as a monster, which is, I guess, another bonus utility of him, is active main, pay 1 red, 1 green. and he gains 14k in double strike. So effectively, you can turn him late game into a 30k double striker, which could close out games. I've won games with him, and I think he's really, really underrated. Don't sleep on like any of the god cards because they all have, you know, use as a land, and they also have use as a monster card. So definitely don't sleep on these guys. Pick them up when you can. They're going to come into meta really soon, I promise you. Especially with the hard push of the monocolor decks. One of the only ways to keep up is going to be playing a fast boy to get it out, so you don't have to worry about tapping your land, especially with tricolors. The next card is a card that gives you a little bit more aggro diversity, and that would be the new Bardock from set 10. He has double strike unique. Auto if your leader is red when your opponent's life is taken to their hand or placed into their drop area by a skill. So that way, meaning if you swing into them and they take a life, or if you like basically trigger Gohan's main ability, which lets burn them for 1, you play Bardock for free. And then his second auto is once per turn when your opponent activates a counter card, switches card to active mode. So ideally you can swing with him. If they try to negate, you get a second swing. He effectively has dual attack if they're trying to play defensively. It won't stop a Toppo. I mean, he'll untap off the Toppo, but he's, you know, you don't usually want to swing into Toppo. Although the deck is drawing quite a bit, so, you know, maybe you do. And he's a staple. I like him a lot, but you don't want to run too many. I have him at 3 right now because he's a black card, 0 combo cost. He's dead in your hand if he's not on the field. So, you know, you don't want to run too many. So I think 3 is the right number. Next is our second free blocker, and that is Trunks, a Helping Blast. He's a revenge blocker and is permanent as long as you have a red-green battle card on the field. You can play him from your hand without paying his energy cost. Again, just another free blocker to get out to trigger that alliance if you have to. And yeah, he's super clutch, coming major handy for defensive plays too, because nobody wants to swing into a revenge blocker. Both the blockers have 5k, so they're pretty easy to just minus and get them off the board. But still, that's, you know, I'd rather have them get minus than have maybe some of my other cards get minus. And yeah, there's not much more to say about him. Next we have the major burn card of the deck, which is SS Gogeta, Acrobatic Warrior. You can only have 1 in your battle area at a time. It is a 15k, 5k combo beat stick essentially, but you're never going to swing with him. I mean, you might, but you're really just going to use him for a second auto. His first auto, when a battle card that is both red and green, energy cost of 5 is played in your battle area, activate the skill. You may play this card from your hand. So again, another free card you are cheating out with either the Liquiir or the Gogeta. Fantastic combo. You automatically are going to burn your opponent for 1 with it, and it's just great because the second auto, when this card is switched to Resonant by Alliance, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So, you know, get your opponent to 4, play Liquiir, this guy comes out for free, tap him with Liquiir, you're drawing 2, you're minusing 20k, and you're burning your opponent for 1. That's just too much value to sleep on, and I think is a main key staple of the deck. Next is your major defensive card, Toppo, Righteous Aid. If you've been playing Dragon Ball Super, you know what he does. Negate the attack, choose 1 card from your hand, place it in your drop area. Your opponent can no longer, for the rest of your opponent's turn, they can't play they can't attack with battle cards, I'm sorry, unless they pitch 2 cards from their hand. Not many people want to do that. It'll make a lot of people passive really quick. If you ever are faced against a Toppo and you have a bunch of cards in hand, swing through them, because a lot of times that's a last-ditch effort, you know. No one wants to play 2 Toppos in 1 turn, especially if they've just got them as their negates in their hand, because you don't want to waste 1 for energy, which you're not going to be able to do, and then 2, you just don't want to lose that ability for a possible another turn. So, you know, if you're really trying to push for the win, swing through the Toppo, don't let him stop you, and that's the easiest way to get around him. Next is the championship card. I believe it's a champ pack card, and that's SS3 Gohan Masters Surpassed. This is the card that's making, I believe, this leader completely viable. The biggest issue with Gohan before, especially with the Alliance engine, is you couldn't keep him on the board. The highest power they have is 20k, and that's really, I mean, it's not super hard or easy to get rid of, but it is something that can be played around fairly easily, and none of them have any type of defensive stats. But this guy comes out with Deflect and Barrier, which means he's going to hit the board, and he's going to be able to swing with Alliance at least once. His Alliance ability is when this card, if your leader is mono red, saying deal 1 damage to your opponent, and until the start of your next turn, your opponent can't play battle cards with 20,000 power or less, unless they take 1 card from their drop area to their life, and he also burns for 1. So effectively, he shuts down your opponent's next turn. They won't be able to play anything 20k or less, and it stops people from playing other cards for turn as well. So like if you're trying to counterplay something later, it'll automatically off to take life. He's just a really like a oppressive card, and he's gonna make the day. He's your main win condition, to be honest. He's gonna win you the game, or Liquir's gonna win you the game, or the secret rare. After that, we have the main combo piece. Since we're not running the Nappas anymore, to get the arrival up for the Gogeta and for the secret rare, you have to rely on the Raditz, which you need a red-green multicolor card in your energy. Like a billion fast boys won't make it too difficult. You can play them on the curve, you'll be fine. When you play this card, your opponent reveals their hand, choose up to one battle card 35k or less, and set it to its owner's warp. And this card gains critical. That's if you ever play him. You're never going to play him. He's just your combo piece for the red-green, or the easiest way to get out the red-green combo piece. You can always take the Trunks and combo with the Beerus on the defensive to get out Gogeta on defensive side, or get out Scramble on the defensive side. There's a lot of different ways to get it going, which is why I think Tricolor doesn't hurt the deck too much as you would normally think it would. But yeah, so that's your combo piece for Arrival. Next is the first card that'll get out Gogeta Acrobatic Warrior, which is Gogeta Resonant Explosion. Arrival, red-green, pay 1 red. He's a double striker with whenever he enters the battlefield, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, 4 or less, KO it, and then he can't be played for the rest of the turn. So you're going to play 1 per turn, but usually when he gets out, they're going to try to get him off the board as soon as possible. 20k double strike is just damage that you don't want to be taken at any point of the game. So he's definitely a nice card, and he cheats out the 4-drop, which is just fantastic. The second card that'll cheat up your 4-drop is your Liquiir and Korun. He is a critical alliance user. So whenever he triggers alliance, draw 2 cards, choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, they get minus 20k per turn. This is going to board wipe your opponent 9 times out of 10, because even if they have something that's going to dodge the 20k, Gohan's secondary trigger, whenever you trigger alliance, he KOs with 30k or less. So you're going to get rid of 3 cards from your opponent whenever you combo with Liquiir turn 3, and it's going to just be massive. It's going to be great. It's just going to be your biggest play you probably do in the game. He also has a permanent when your leader is red and you have a red-green battle card in play, reduce damage cost of this card by 2. So you can play him for 3, comes out for 5, comes out as a 5, and then Gogeta comes out following him, ready to be tapped down for that 1 burn and board wipe effectively. The final card of the deck, this is a 50 card deck, by the way. I kept playing with the numbers. I don't want to really go over 50 too much. So I think 50 is really the nice number. The only thing I would add is maybe an extra Senzu Bean. Maybe, but I think 3 is good enough. But for the final card of the deck, this is your secret rare. It is SS3 Scramble, Raditz, Vegeta, and Broly. He has Arrival, red-green, 3 red, 2 green, which again wouldn't be too hard because even though you may be running the Frieza lands, they're still going to count for your red energy as long as you have 2 fast boys in your energy by the time turn 5 comes around. You can play this guy, burn your opponent for 2, win the game. Auto, when you play this card, choose 1 card in your life, place it in your drop area, then deal 2 damage to your opponent. Again, you're going to, like 9 times out of 10, you're going to play this when they're at 2 life and they're going to die. You're going to push for the 2 life. Either Gohan's going to burn to get him down for 2. And if the Gohan taps down, the SS3 Gohan taps down the Gogeta, you're automatically going to deal 2 damage. So, like, either way, you're setting up for the Scramble to come in and take the win. He has secondary auto. When your opponent combos with a battle card with energy cost 2 or less, choose 1 card in your opponent's combo area and place it in the drop area. Your opponent can't combo. Essentially, that's what that means. I mean, unless they use, like, bigger cards, but 9 times out of 10, they won't be able to super combo. They won't be able to do too much of any defensive stats. So even if he doesn't kill your opponent, he can still swing for 40k beat stick, and your opponent can't combo. So you're going to get that 3rd damage in. So even if you Liquiir turn 3 into Gogeta, burn for 1, put him down to 3, you play Scramble turn 5, you win. Like, they're not going to be able to stop you. I mean, they'll have negates, but ideally you're going to try to play around the negates as much as possible. And yeah, that's basically the deck. I haven't built a sideboard for him yet. I'm still toying around with it. I need to see how the meta goes with the new bands that just came out, so Vegeta won't be as oppressive. I'm still just going to toy around with it. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys like this format of the video. I'm not sure. This is kind of give you a better layout of like how the numbers look when you have the deck laid out. Like I said, I'm going to try to upload consistently. I may be doing a series starting soon, a random leader battle with a buddy of mine with thanks for tuning in.